Hillman, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Let's bow our heads, please. Our most gracious and heavenly Father, we just come to you today asking for your mercy, Father. We ask that you be with this court and bless them in every way that they may need. And give us the words that will be helpful and help this county progress and move on, Father. And we just ask you to be with all our employees today as they out in this weather doing their jobs, Lord, and look over them and their families. And Lord, we pray for the ones that are not able to be here today for whatever reason. And we ask that you continue to be with us when we make decisions, Lord, that's important to this county. And we pray for our country, Lord, and we pray for our state. And we ask that you bless them in the ways that they might need. And Lord, we just pray and ask you to continue to go with us. And all this we ask in your name. Amen.
All right. Good morning, everybody.
So you ain't running?
No. Meeting come to order. Roll call, please.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
Magistrate Anderson? No.
I just can't.
Magistrate Compton? Magistrate Murphy?
Here.
Magistrate Robinson? No. Magistrate Dodson?
Here.
Magistrate Varney?
Here. All right. Leo, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Approval of the minutes of December the 8th, 2017, and December the 19th, 2017. I need a motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Compton?
Present.
Magistrate Murphy? Magistrate Dodson?
Magistrate Dawson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. All right. For approval, discussion, acknowledgement of the receipt of the 2018 Pike County Sheriff's budget. The Pike County Sheriff Rodney Scott.
Thank you, Judge. Of course, my budget has to be in by January 15th. That's why I'm here. Basically, the same budget as last year. The only thing we'll have a $25,000 surplus, and the only thing that's really changed is I've asked for a $25,000 increase in my supplement, and the reason that be is when Jailer Morris took over the jail, he came to me and asked me if I'd be interested in the drug dog. He said that dog needs to be with you out here on traffic stops and, you know, doing different things, and I agree. You know, it'd be a big asset to our department, and we'd love to have it, but the only way I told him, I said, the only way I can take the dog is I have to have the handler. So that extra $25,000 plus the $25,000 in the surplus will be the salary, make up for the salary of the employee and to take care of the dog for the year.
All right.
John, do we have the money to make up that supplement?
I believe we will, because Rodney has turned over to us $2.7 million in property tax receipts so far. The first check for the first 15 days was $750,000, and the check that I got for the month of December was $1.96 million.
I'll make a motion that we increase the supplement for the reasons of the dog and it being with the place where it should have been to start with, I think.
Roll call, please.
You got to get a second, I believe, yeah.
We did.
Leo.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Compton?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy?
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Varney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, didn't I give you one?
Acknowledgement of receipt of the 2018 county clerk's budget. Rhonda Taylor?
She's going to pass it out. She don't give it out ahead of time.
Thank you, Judge. I see some new faces on the court that I've not seen before since I've been in here. It's been a while. I brought my budget for you all to acknowledge. It has went up a little bit because the retirement went up. Also have the 2550 report for everybody. I can't believe nobody has a question about the bed bugs. I've had at least 100 people ask me what happened. And I want to kind of clear it up because it is a legitimate question for somebody to say, how in the world did you get bed bugs? But we had a gentleman that came in, he did a transaction, he paid us, and when my deputy was separating the money, these bugs just fell out from everywhere. They went on her skirt, they went into the carpet, and I thought it would be best to just close the office and have it exterminated because we don't want to take them home, we don't want them to spread through the courthouse, we don't want them, our customers to take them home. I just thought it would be best, and I've had to take a lot of slack over that, but I feel like it was the right thing to do, and I just wanted to clear that up.
Really?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just had one of the magistrates ask me if I asked for a supplement in this, this budget that I'm presenting, and I did not. And the reason I did not is because I feel like the county doesn't have it to give. If they had have had it to give, I feel like I would have gotten it before now from last year if you'd had the extra. So the clerk's office is no longer in the hole. We're not running in the red anymore. We have got a few employees back to work. Part-time employees are now full-time employees. And everything's looking up. It's looking a little brighter down there. So I just wanted the people to know that.
Rhonda, before you sit down, I was the one that asked you, and you know our budget is going to be better this year than it was last year. And I would love to see you be able to open your branch offices back up. And
well, I would like to be able to open them more than the 1 day a week. But there's kind of been a rumor that they're closed. They're not closed. The hours has just been reduced to 1 day a week. We're on the same schedule as the driver's license department. And even though a lot of people find this as an inconvenience, the truth of the matter is everybody doesn't have to come to the clerk's office every day. You usually only come to license your vehicle or transfer a vehicle. Now, we're open 4 days a month at each office, unless it's a holiday, a state scheduled holiday or an emergency. And the main office is open every day, unless it's a holiday or an emergency. You can go online, you can call it in to us, and I couldn't tell you how many house calls that I make. I stay on the road helping people that can't seem to get here. So there's a lot of times when I'm not in the office because I may be over on the other end of Elkhorn City, picking up something for a little lady maybe that's got a disability, can't get to the clerk's office. She'll call and say, you know, I need this, but I can't get there. You're only open one day a week, and I can't get anybody to come and take me. And I said, ma'am, I'll be right there. I'll be there just as soon as I can to help you. I feel like we bend over backwards to try to help everybody that we can, and that is our job. That's why I'm elected. That's why I feel like I've got as far as I have, because when I was a deputy clerk at Phelps, I was the deputy clerk for 11 years. I couldn't tell you the house calls I would make after work. I've been from one end of the county, and I still continue to do it. It's just a normal thing for me. So I feel like there's not one person in this whole county that if they needed help, they couldn't call and we would accommodate them. Now, that don't mean I can make 1,000 house calls a day, because some of this stuff, you know, you can take care of it, like I said, over the phone, mail it in, come in. And be honest with you, most people are in Pikeville once a week. I mean, once a month. You're there at least once a month. So the main office is always accessible. And like I said, the branch offices are accessible one day a week, every month, 4 times. Now, I know sometimes the crowd is a bit much. And I know that Belfry gets more people at the branch office than any of our branch offices. They stay very busy. But it's the right thing to do to be fair to everybody. I try not to make a difference in our branch offices whatsoever. Now, in the future, you know, I may be able to open them to 2 days a week. I don't know. It just depends on the money situation. I don't want to stand up here and make a promise that I can't keep, because I have no idea what the future brings. But I do want the people to know that I'm doing the very best that I can with what I've got to operate on. And I don't mean to pat myself on the back, but I feel very good about us coming out of the hole. On this money thing I'm turning in, the supplement, we're $28,056.02 to the good right now. So that's better than being in the hole. I don't know if you all read off these 2550 reports when I send them up here every month, but it was requested that myself and the sheriff send these reports in so that you all would know where our offices stood, so that if we were in the red, which I don't know how the sheriff's department works, I can only tell you how the clerk's office works. If this office is in the red, Rhonda Taylor has to pay for it. That means if Rhonda Taylor's office is in the red, $30,000, then I've got to come up with $30,000. I don't come up with it out of the clerk's office. I come up with it out of my very own pocket. So that puts me at a different, disadvantage than the other offices, because if they're in a deficit, you guys probably cover that. Is that right or wrong? Do you all cover other offices?
I've had to take loans before, personal signed for them, and it is uncomfortable. Fortunately, I've not had to do that in a while. Yes, it is uncomfortable. I've been there.
Well, this is no disrespect to you, but this is the only job I have. So I can't afford to go take out a loan to cover things that happen.
Oh, I'm just saying I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying, when you said no one else here has, I just wanted to clarify that. Yes.
I said I don't know if anybody else has.
Yeah, I just want to let you know, yes, I know at least one office has, but it is uncomfortable to do that, to sign personally.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I can make good on a loan.
That's been several years, and like you, I learned how to work it. I learned how to.
You have to manage it.
That's right. I've learned.
You got to manage it.
I closed a Belfry office of my own. We used to have a branch office at Belfry, and I had to close a branch off. So yeah, I've been where you are and had to juggle the numbers and have a couple sleepless nights before. I couldn't imagine handling multi-million-dollar budgets like our treasurer and the court has to do. I couldn't imagine when they're how hard it is, but it is uncomfortable when you handle other people's money. I don't care if you're a banker or anything else, and yeah, it is uncomfortable. You're hitting. I'm agreeing with you. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Rhonda, you know, we're not saying you're not doing a good job. The only thing is, in the past, Brian Moore sitting there beside of you said he's offered you money for a supplement in our last budget, and you said you didn't need it or didn't want it or whatever. But in return, we get blamed for your offices being closed because you don't have money to operate them on. That's the reason I ask you, do you need money? And talk to John because we've got a better budget this year than we had in the last year. And if we could help you, that's what we're here for, not to take away.
What she asked for was 160 or 180-some thousand, wasn't it, for the next 18 months when we asked her for that?
I don't know, I just submitted enough to keep them open until the end of the term, because if you do give me the money, I open them, your next budget comes up, I'm not approved, I'm gonna have to close them again. You know, this is a professional office that you can't yo-yo. You either leave it open or you reduce it to what you can afford. But even if you did give me supplement money, I have learned by going to clerks' meetings, talking to other clerks in the state, that supplement money that we've been getting all those years, we don't qualify for that. We're not even supposed to be getting it. That has probably been a courtesy all these years. I mean, that's just the truth. And it's good that they got it, but there's no guarantee, especially with the financial situation in the county, that we could get it again. And how many people would be upset if they come in and we were open every day and then we're closed back down to 1 day a week? Well, what's wrong with these people? Can't they manage? Can't they make up their mind? I mean, I'm going to do with what's in my budget, and right now that's the best I can do at this time.
And you are one of 10, probably
12.
One of 12 clerks in the state of the 120 counties that are allowed to send their money to Frankfurt and operate this way. All other clerks are included in the fiscal court budgets, and also are the sheriffs. You all are unique on your own. That's why you have your own budgets. You send them to Frankfurt. Frankfurt allows you all money if you go in a hole to come back to the good, just like the sheriff is waiting to get his commissions sent in and his supplement to bring his deficit down, because it looks horrible at this point for the month of December. I think it's like 400 and some thousand, but his supplement's not posted and his commissions for November and December are not posted yet, which will bring him out of his deficit. And the sheriff will run a deficit because only when he's collecting taxes does he have the money to make his budget come together once he gets his revenues in, because he's only got his commissions from the property taxes that helps him with his budget. So he could never make it running a sheriff's office with deputies out on the road if the county didn't supplement them, because they just don't have that much revenue income coming in other than tax collections for commissions.
Well, see, the county, to the best of my knowledge, the state doesn't cover us if we're in the red.
Yeah, they do.
Well,
That's why you still pay bills even though this 2550 account shows a negative.
I'm just telling you what I picked up, but I will check it out. I hope you're right. I hope you're
Well,
right.
that's why the sheriff's got a $450-some
Sheriff
thousand
doesn't, sheriff, you know, doesn't run like, exactly like the clerk, even though they do. If I'm not mistaken, the last sheriff that was in, when he left office, when they did the audit, he was $40-some thousand in the red. Did you all cover that?
No, he was.
Did the state cover it?
He was 125,000 in the hole because he allowed them to cash out vacation and personal leave that he should never have had, because he had a policy that they were only supposed to get so much and they turned in comp time. He was required to pay 100-and-some thousand. Then the county, they said, was to come up with the other 25,000, and we have never paid the state, no.
Why not?
And I don't know if
Why have you not
I
paid the
left it
state
with-
if you owe them?
They've never sent us a bill for it.
Well, how do you know you owe it?
It's called, that's what Bradley told us.
Okay.
The state
So
office.
nobody investigated that any further to see if they needed to send the money to the state?
We left it in the hands of John Doug, and he said, wait till they send it to us to ask for the money. How's Fuzzy gonna come up with $100,000 now that he's deceased?
He can't. He can't. And I personally ain't gonna come up with $50 if I'm in the red. I mean, because I'm not gonna be in the red.
But that's
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
make
saying.
sure that this office does not run in the red. I'm gonna do the very best I can, and I'm gonna, not to be rude, I'm just gonna leave it at that, because I'm not gonna stand up here and argue.
I'm not arguing with you.
I'm not gonna argue with you, John DeBilliter. Now, I will check
If
it
you
out, I
have-
will
if you
check it
have-
out and see
If you have a
no, hold on a
2550
minute,
account
hold on.
statement that has a negative, who's covering that for you?
I
to
didn't
bill?
hear your question, tell me again.
If you have submitted a few times, there's been months that you've had a negative.
Right?
You've been
Right.
able to pay bills and go on.
That's right.
where I'm saying the state is covering you.
But when we settle up, and
Correct.
we have to zero out at the end of a 4-year term, I have to make sure that the money is there to cover everything that's out. Even if if it says I'm $85,000 in debt, that doesn't mean that I don't have the $85,000, because it's sitting in an account ready to come out. It just didn't post to these reports.
I'm just saying, through the,
I'm just saying that I am going to make sure that this office is not in the red. And I thank the court for their time.
All right,
Just thank you.
I need a motion to acknowledge. Roll call, please.
No.
Rhonda, we need copies of the budget.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Wait to do a vote, we've not even looked at it yet.
You don't have to approve it, you only acknowledge that I'm submitting it.
No, we have to
Never
approve it.
approved a budget since I've been here.
Yeah, we do.
No, you don't. No, you do not. It says that you only acknowledge. Who does it? The judge? I've got two-way copies.
I think we just need a copy of it today, right?
Yeah, it has to be signed and sent to Frankfurt, or they don't get paid on Monday.
Right now, like,
Yes. Sheriff and the clerk.
This is new.
Plus,
Yeah.
it needs to be sent to DOG.
well, he gave me his and said, make sure it was today, but I've got his.
Okay.
I just brought the three that I've always brought.
Jean, would you care to go and make some copies for the court?
You need this one back.
On this one right here, I'll have to
The
wait till they
sheriff,
vote,
he
so I'll know
submitted
who
a copy, didn't he?
motion and who. Okay.
This I have to take back.
Okay, okay. What do you want me to make a copy of?
Just,
Had I
yeah.
known y'all wanted copies of this, I would have brought them with me when I came. But I didn't know. Never asked for them before, other
Yeah, we
than what I
have.
brought. No,
You have to look at, yes, we do, Ron. Then you gave them out the other time. You had
She's got to
two.
sign this one first.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's the same thing. there's 3 copies.
Okay.
We always,
I bet Doug brought them because I didn't get to come last year.
we can't acknowledge if they don't have a copy. It has to go in their packet. It's supposed to.
I apologize, I wasn't here last year, I guess Doug brought the copies up. I was in a meeting.
Okay, you want me to? Is it just that, right? Okay, I'll be right back.
You want one of these other, this new thing, June?
This
Something different?
Well, on this one, we have
Okay.
to, motion and second, so, well, okay, I got
Well, you can
that.
fill it in.
I'll sit down while y'all carry on, and then you can fill that out. Reach it back around to the side.
Then I'll bring it back to you. Okay, sure. Thank you, ma'am. I'll be right back.
Can I go ahead now?
Well, no, because they've not seen it yet, too.
Okay.
We had a motion in a second, didn't we?
So they need to see copies of it first.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go back to work.
We have to wait until we get a copy of it back.
Their service they're getting now. Put your name in the paper. I got the paper. I don't want to read it. He just saying we were all swamp rats and you wasn't. I will be in the month. Yeah. He still puts in there. And the plan, the insurance or don't. Pay for it, and then back. I don't have truck sitting up there. What's that? I drove it out here.
We need to get the copies back, she said.
Yeah, I know, but when you get this gear hard,
And I was told we took money.
I need to, do something, come up here, and I need to ask you some questions.
Okay.
I was the one that got him to come in when we got those things to
Where is it?
gear hard, yeah. Gear hard, that they,
We're gonna go on these trips.
sudden length, they put all, they raise the rates.
That's over in the back, isn't it? Well, they ain't got it on mine.
Can if we want to. Probably needs a little bit of time.
He told me the other day if his health was, but wow, that's monthly.
Yeah, we'll find it in.
Huh, gear hard communication, let's see.
I know the way it is, for 3 people.
Maybe it.
Well,
They should have had, I don't know what the heck she's done.
Cut it, ain't gonna get nobody working. You cut it down.
that's gear hard, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Gearhart.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they just evidently, she ran another one off now.
Yeah.
I didn't get a copy, so. His,
You gonna get,
he's here.
Oh, yeah, you gotta catch him.
is that Gearhart sitting back there in front of us?
No, yeah, it's a Campbell, he's the CEO.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice, but I want to see how much money they're investing back in equipment so that,
Yeah,
people can, so that they're giving service, because they give it a lousy service.
I know.
I just can't really,
Yeah.
I kinda anticipated it.
Yeah, it's about $47,000 to $49,000.
I don't see how in the hell she can get back home to Phelps.
And
She came ready to darn, did she?
School when you add on.
Hey, buddy. She don't understand shit.
Yeah, you can get 3 times, huh? Yeah, base is all the same, yeah.
Well, at least I don't understand.
You
that.
remember
At least we don't have to give them a supplement.
I didn't even
And
know.
nobody's dissatisfied with their service.
We didn't have what paid.
They're not happy at all.
Yeah. And we ain't voted to give them.
Yeah, Jenny coming with the
We ain't
paper.
voted to give no raises. Yeah, cost of living, the only thing then.
Well, we don't have the newspapers, we've got the cameras, but our buddy, didn't.
Is that him
shown up.
sitting over there?
Yeah, that's the reporter, but
Yeah.
our buddy,
Well, on your,
Told me.
Jeff.
what you're clearing,
Tuesday.
what you're clearing should be about close to what I clear, I guess, $11.95.
Something like that, somewhere in the 1,200, yeah.
Yeah, $11.95, and I pay a little bit on my insurance. So.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see, I don't.
The month says I got high dollar insurance.
Y'all have Medicare? I don't have none. Need a copy of that, so I can put it out.
I'll waive mine,
Berta just got it in. Copy, I'll have to wait till next, for Tuesday.
Here,
No,
here, I got an extra one. You give me 2.
yeah, that's fine, okay.
Okay, that really don't mean anything.
Yeah, okay.
We do get accomplished. Just that, no, 'cause you need that money.
I know it.
Jonda? Are we ready to get a vote on this? All right, I need a vote on this situation.
I make a motion that we acknowledge the clerk's,
I need a
report.
second. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Magistrate Compton,
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy,
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson,
Yes.
Magistrate Varning,
Yes.
Judge Diskins.
Yes. Hurry, I got the wrong thing here. All right, presentation of Gerhardt Communications regarding rates. You can go ahead with it.
I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. I'm James Campbell. I'm the CFO for Gerhardt Communications and Intermountain Cable. What we did recently was kind of realign our rates on broadband, and the reason being the FCC actually defines broadband or high-speed internet as 10 meg down and 1 meg up is their definition. And in order to get some of the federal funding now through the Connect America Fund or CAF or some of those things, it's even as high as 25.3, but some of it is, in some cases, it's still 10.1. But we had approximately 5,000 of our customers system-wide that were below that 10.1 threshold. So we took an opportunity to bring everybody up to the FCC definition of broadband internet. So about a certain number of customers' rates went up no more than $5. Some of them actually went down around the $5. Some of them went up a little more, some of them went up a little less. But the majority of the customers received more broadband for less money. So the majority of the customers should be really happy. But a few customers I know are the outliers that their rates went up a little more. So, and we've had a handful of complaints, I think, and we will handle those individually. And take care of those and make some exceptions, but that was the whole reason of what we did. The average speed of those customers that we changed prior to changing them was a little over 4 meg down, 1 meg up, and those same customers, after we did the change, the average speed is about 11.5 down. And again, it's for essentially the same amount of money. So that's in essence what we did, and if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I have a few. I was the one that came down to
Right.
talk with you.
Right.
Several complaints. This fiscal court did not have anything to do with the rates raising.
Right. I mean, what we have a franchise with Pike County is for cable TV, and it's really for only the basic cable TV and the technical standards on the video side itself. But you really have no.
We don't have any control over the.
You don't have no regulatory authority over the internet, as I understand it.
Okay. Well, these new rates that you increased.
Right.
I know we received a $20
Right.
increase. How much is that? How much in the raise are you going to put back into equipment to see that Suddenlink gives as much service as they can for the money that the people put in?
Well, we're not Suddenlink, we're in Mountain Cable, but we pride ourselves on our high-speed internet and the amount of fiber we have already invested in the county. Our highest speed today, a customer can get up to 300 meg if they want it, if they want to pay for it. And if your bill went up $25, hopefully you got a substantial amount more broadband when we raised the rate. I don't know your specific instance, but hopefully that happened.
Well, most of the people that called and in here at this office and was getting a substantial raise more than $5. I know there was some lady over in Hillman's area got a $20-some raise. Now, does that mean that she's going to get twice the service or twice the speed?
Some customers, and I don't have about 80-some percent got moved to 10.3, 11% got moved to 25.3 for the same amount of money or for that increase.
Well, it wasn't the same amount of money. It was still a raise.
Well,
It was just raising her.
I understand what you're saying, yeah.
I mean, everybody got a raise.
No, everybody didn't get a raise. There was about 1,000 customers or so are paying less.
Okay.
For the same amount.
How many customers do you have?
We have about 8,000 subscribers in
So
Pike County.
7,000 of them got a raise and 1,000 of them got a decrease.
No. There's 8,000 customers in Pike County. Only 2,700 of those were part of this transition. So we only touched 2,700 customers in Pike County.
Okay.
And of those 2,700, about 1,000 got a decrease. I know that. Yeah.
But what I wanted to get straightened out, we've had quite a controversy on taxes that we had nothing to do with raising them. And I just wanted to, for the people watching on TV now, that they know that the Pike Fiscal Court had nothing to do with the raising of even though we are a franchisee.
That's right.
We didn't have anything to do with that.
That's right.
That's right. Okay.
And we certainly want every broadband customers that we possibly can have. So I want to try to make everybody happy and pleased with their
sure you
service.
do. Every
So
business
I don't want any customers to leave. So if we can make everybody, but at the same time we have to have a certain amount of money to operate, just like the fiscal court does, and the county does.
Any members?
Herbie, I had a lot of calls too, same as they did over here, and a lot of people said they couldn't afford the increase, and I don't guess they have no other choice.
That's what I told Mr. Campbell, and I went down and talked with him, related on your problem and several other problems. And he said, let those people call, and
Yeah.
they would try to work something out with them. He was very,
They need to call us. They need,
He was very,
I don't care if they.
Another question I've got, do we have the same amount of internet service over in that area that we do in the other parts of the county? I know I have a lot of complaints that up at the doctor's office there on Johns Creek Mountain, Jerry Hatfield, she is continuing complaining about the internet service and not being good for them to be able to operate their computers and things in the doctor's office there. Do y'all have any control over?
Well, I mean, it's the same service anyway, and I'll have to look at the trouble calls and reports that we have on that particular customer, and we'll certainly try to take care of it.
Appreciate it, because a lot of people over there is applying for jobs over at telecom or telecommunication or teleworks, and they've got to have a updated to where they can get their computers to get on to where they can get the jobs that they offer.
And we're trying to work with, as a matter of fact, we sent a proposal to Teleworks to give those customers a discount to be able to do that. So we're trying to work with them to help that process.
I don't see a problem with it, Judge.
no, I don't either.
Mike Mays is wanting to make a comment, I guess, while he's talking. Is it okay with the court or you or
Related to what he's saying.
I don't see it where it would be a problem, him
Is it
commenting.
related to what the subject we're on, Mike?
Yes, sir, it was, and I would be asking me to comment.
Well, we needed to know. Oh, go ahead.
You've been approved, Mike, to come on up and
What,
make
nobody
it.
had it.
I just will stand here and think, I got a few calls, and I know they want to say FCC and that part of it, but I would like to say, and I have talked here this court before about the franchising deal. And, you know, any agreement, I think, as long as it's lawful, you can put whatever, you know. And I know Pikeville was suddenly, a few years ago, almost refused suddenly a franchise. Y'all can go back and research that, you know, in the agreement. But what I would ask the court is, again, check the franchise deal, see what, even if, maybe we need to have some competition here to where you can, run another cable company through the territory, you know, or work at something in the franchise agreement to address some of these people that maybe draw $800 a month, and then they get an increase of $20 on their bill. So that's what I would like.
That's what we talked to Mr. Kimball
I
about.
appreciate you asking some of the questions, but, I mean, I'm sorry if I, you know.
Oh, that's fine, Mike.
Well, Mike, I think I might be speaking out of turn, but the FCC is in control of these services that as long as they offer more, I guess, then they can set the rate. Is that right, Herbie?
Well, as I understand it from talking to Mr. Campbell, the FCC sets the minimum level that you have to furnish to everybody.
What the FCC, we could furnish 4-1 or 2-1 or 10 or 1-1, but that's not what the FCC's definition of high-speed broadband is. And what the FCC does annually is puts out a benchmark study all across the United States of what the rates are being charged, you know, urban areas and rural areas. And you know, we are certainly within those guidelines of the FCC benchmark, which, you know, we pride ourselves on doing that. You know, it's hard to serve rural areas for a for-profit company with the amount of investment that we have to make in fiber and the equipment to provide the service of level of internet that we're providing now costs a lot of money. you know. And if someone else thinks they can do it, you know, that would be fine.
Well, the lady that called me was like, I did not, I would like chose to have more of this because it's the payment.
I understand.
And, him and the FCC, I understand that part, but what y'all are under control of is the grant.
I've got another question before you sit down. It's a little bit different. Our telephone services over there is very poor. Have y'all got any plans on upgrading or going to do something to, in certain areas that we get in after you go through Phelps, you lose all your signal over in the stopover and that
Are
area.
you talking about,
Another tire or
talking
something?
about wireless signal? That's an entirely separate company, and I'm sure we have plans, but I don't know the details, but I can find out for you.
I would appreciate it because when you get out of Phelps, across the mountain, and down toward the freeway now, you lose all your services. And then when you go down the Pounded Mill in Blackberry there, it's got very poor services. And I just wondered if you could upgrade to where we could use our cell phones because when the county employees are out in them areas, Pawpaw and the places, they can't call or get a signal out to somebody that they need to talk to.
Him and attaching on to one thing you was talking about up on the mountain at the pharmacy up there, or the doctor's office. My good friend Mike Littlefick had a tax office, and I went up there with him. He complained about the internet, but I think the problem up there on the top of Phelps Mountain that people miss side of the mountain because we call it Johns Creek Mountain, but you don't have service up there, I don't think. And I was wondering if you could get more service to run up on top of that hill to help those people.
We've looked at, you know, a lot of places, and if it's doable, I mean, we've really stretched, and we're providing services now to areas that we wouldn't have 10 years ago. So we'll certainly take a look at that as well.
Wouldn't you think being up on the mountain, and do you have your tire up at Dick's Knob, or where do you have yours?
They don't deal with tires. They deal with, I don't think you deal with the tires so much. They got the landlines, the cable lines. So I've got 4 accounts with these people, and I deal with the cable deal. The wireless is Appalachian Wireless.
Right, yeah, separate. It's separate. I can find out on Appalachian Wireless, but I'm not, you know, we're certainly part of Appalachian Wireless, but I don't have all the detail on Appalachian
Do you
Wireless.
deal with the cell phones, period? You don't, do you?
What now?
Cell phones, the wireless there, you don't deal with that?
No.
I don't think so.
Hill, would you like to get Appalachian Wireless in and let them,
Y'all not connected to Appalachian Wireless?
We are an owner of Appalachian Wireless, but we don't manage Appalachian Wireless. They have their own.
You own it, but you don't manage it.
Well,
And
they
I
have their
understand.
own CEO, and they have their own technicians, and, you know, it's a separately run company. We're on the board of directors, and we're just not involved in the detailed day-to-day operations. I'll say it that way.
You're sort of like the county and Mountain Water. They have their separate board, and
That's right.
you have a separate board, but do you elect your board members?
Yes. Well, Appalachian Wireless, East Kentucky Network's actually owned by 5 companies, and each of those companies have a representative on the board. That's how it works. But, you know, they want to provide service everywhere they can as well, so I'm sure that we'll take a look at it.
Thank you.
Mr. Campbell, thank you very much.
Yes, sir, I appreciate the
Appreciate you
opportunity to
coming.
be here. And any calls, just, I don't care for them to call me directly. I'll try my best to take care of them.
I've passed your number on to several people. I'm
Okay,
sure you've got
that's fine.
several.
All right, thank you all.
All right.
Does Brian supposed to see
Yeah.
present? Brian, yeah.
Approval of purchase of a full-body security screening system for the Pike County Jail. Brian?
Morning. I'd like to say it's the first time I've been back to fiscal court meeting since Chick Johnson's passing, and I'd like to voice my condolences to his family and the court. I know Chick was a good man, and he'll be missed, and congratulate Mr. Compton there on the appointment. Thank you for coming to work for the county. Appreciate you being here. If you don't care, I'd like to do maybe some last-minute deputy judge executive business, if you don't care. Back back in last year's budget, this court knows and people knows that we did a lot of layoffs, a lot of cutbacks, a lot of combining jobs. In July of last year, when we was going through our budget year, I asked Keiko, I said, you know, I know how workers' comp works. Beginning of the year, you got to estimate out how much revenue, how much payroll you're going to have for that year, and then you pay a certain amount of money for that year out. And I said, you know, our payroll went significantly down, but our premiums stayed the same. I said, you know, I would like for you to start investigating that to see where all that money went. And me and Justin come on board, and I brought Justin on the mix, and me and Justin started working on it. And about 2 weeks before I left over here to go to the jail, I reached out to him and told him, you know, continue to please work on that. And then when I was over to the jail, I ran into one of the KCO representatives, and I asked about it. And I received a check. I received it last week. The check's dated for 12/1. I brought it in its envelope. The address was made out to me, and it was mailed out on the 24th of December. It went in my box, and I was late picking it up. But I'd like to present this check to Jonda for reimbursement of workers' comp in the amount of $189,916.
Whoa.
Hey,
Hey, Brian, say it again. I didn't hear you. One more time.
Put my glasses.
I think it's worth repeating.
$189,916.
All right. Good job.
okay.
Now, when are you going to be bringing another one?
We can have a big party on that.
Be back soon. But thank you all for letting me do that. And one of the things I want to talk to you about today is I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything about what's going on at the jail. I know Rhonda talked about the bugs. I got a call last week and they said, is the jail bug infected? And I said, no, it's not bug infected, it's drug infected. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not. Every day since I've been over there, I found crystal meth, a large quantity of crystal meth on a regular basis, Suboxone on a regular basis. I got some statistics for you here. And you know, right now there's 360 inmates. Out of them inmates, around 50 of them go out on work detail. They work in solid waste, they work for Public Works, you know, we got the state crew that goes out and cuts weeds, and, you know, that's about 50 inmates going in and out. There's right now, I got 45 correctional officers that works over to the jail. So on a daily basis, we got 95 people entering and exiting that building. You know, every inmate that comes in gets strip searched before they enter the facility. But if an inmate is capable and willing to hide drugs in their cavity, we're not going to detect it. It's going to get into the jail. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you any other way. If they want to get drugs in that jail, drugs are going to get in that jail. There's just no hiding it. Like for instance, one of the things they do is, it's happened to me once. I got out in front of it and controlled it, but what they do is they'll wrap it and swallow it. So when they go through the strip search procedures, it's undetected. And then they'll go up and they'll pass it or they'll get to the drugs. Since I've been over there, the bag busted. They come in stone sober, strip searched, no drugs on them. By the time they got up, the bag busted, all that crystal meth leaked into their system, and I got a guy ODing on crystal meth that come into the jail. And I can't stop that. I mean, I can't sit here and tell you that I can stop it. So I started researching, how do we prevent this? You know, and one of the things that I come across is what they call a full body security screening system. What it is, it's you know, kind of think of going through an airport. You go through that detention, that they call it metal detector, but what they're doing is they're X-raying you. It takes 7 seconds. It's low dosage radiation. You can scan the inmate up to 1,000 times a year. You know, every inmate that would enter that facility, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. In the last 6 months, we've had 2 correctional officers busted for bringing drugs into the jail. You know, if I can get this machine inside the detention center, every person entering that building, including myself, will go through this on a daily basis. This right here would single-handedly take 80 to 85% of the drugs out of that jail. And you know, and I told a couple of people lately, I would hate to know that my loved one was in that jail that had a drug dependency, and he was in that jail. I would hate to know my loved one's in there, because it's easier to get drugs inside that jail than it is outside the jail. And I'm not saying anything that anybody in this courtroom or most of you all know. That's just the truth. I mean, to be able to, you know, I need help to combat the drug intake going inside that facility. You know, this machine costs $185,000, I think, what it come back at. Is that right, Frankie? That's a significant amount of money. You know, I'd like to ask the court to purchase it for me, and if the court does not have the money to purchase it, I've reached out to DOC. It is something that the commissary can pay for. I mean, if the court cannot fund it, I mean, if you could just fund it and let me pay you back on a monthly basis until I get it paid off. I mean, I'd be willing to do that. When I started over there, they was, right off the top of my mind, there was $3,000 or $4,000 in the commissary account, Jonda. And before I come over here, I looked, I got it up to $45,000 right now. You know, I mean, I'm willing to take that money, if have to, and pay for this machine. And I'm going to tell you this real quick, and I'm not going to take much of your time. Let me get to my notes. You know, I'm going to use the word better management. I don't know how you want to call it. I think it's better management. When I started November 1 over to the detention center, one of the things that I researched was who's our paying customers. You know, our state inmates, our U.S. Marshals, you know, contracts with other counties. That's where we get our funding. So I started looking back. The previous months inside the jail, I went for 2 months. I've been over 2 months. I used my last 2 months billing cycle compared to 2 months prior. The 2 months before, we invoiced $391,652, Jonda. That money goes directly to the fiscal court, directly to Jonda, and that's how I get my budget. Now, that was $391,000. The last 2 months, November and December, I've billed $433,682 with an increase of $42,030 more coming in. And all I did was start working with the district judges, trying to get a lot of our county inmates that's been charged with AI or PI that they gave 30 days to, trying to get them in and out. You know, and I've reached out to the State Department. I'm receiving more state inmates. And I'm going to tell you this, and I'll be quiet. And one of the other things I've done is I can't talk numbers. John don't know the numbers. I can't talk numbers. The U.S. Marshals asked me not to speak numbers. But, you know, I looked at what we get per day per housing a U.S. Marshal prisoner. You know, and the first thing I said was, you know, that's significantly low. And I've started recently. Well, I've done more than started. I've already submitted an increase. I've asked for an 85% increase in the bill rate, Jonda. And I'm 100% sure I'll get at least a 50% increase on the bill rate. I may get the whole 85, but I will get the 50% increase. And I broke some numbers down. Currently, we're housing 22 U.S. Marshal prisoners. We've averaged 20 U.S. Marshal prisoners over the last several months. If getting a 50% increase in our U.S. Marshal prisoners, that will produce $127,750 more income coming towards my budget. I mean, I'm doing everything I can over there to help you guys raise more money for that facility. I truly am. So I'm going to ask that I could get this machine ordered. I hope you all see the need to it.
Brian, let me ask you a question real quick. Is this something we need to submit out for bid, or we already submitted it out for bid?
When we get down to awarding bids, it will be presented.
Okay. I haven't got,
Yeah,
so everything's ready to go?
Yeah, I'm going to say this, Jeff, if you don't care. I asked Frankie to bid it. I knew I was going to be here asking, and I kind of wanted to have all the ducks in a row to where if I could get the blessing of the court, I mean, I could order this machine tomorrow, and I could actually have it installed in my facility within 4 weeks.
John, how are we going to find, if Brian's going to be able to pay us back?
Do you want to buy it and let him pay us back, or how? Do you want to do a CAECO lease? What do you want to do?
What's the best deal? I mean, what's affordable and what, I mean, I know we'll have to reach a happy medium.
If we pay for it, because this is not budgeted money,
Right.
and he pays us back, that'd be interest-free. With CAECO, you're going to have a lease payment with the interest.
Right.
Brian, how much do you think you're gonna be able to pay per month?
Hillman,
Let me say, do you care if I say something?
please.
He is really going above and beyond with trying to get money in here. I found out that every 3 years, we could have been asking for increases for housing U.S. Marshals that we have not been doing in the past, of renegotiating our contracts. Is that not correct, what Jason told me?
Yes.
So things have been dropped over there that Brian's really trying to get behind and get increased. And Jason sent me the other day, just for what is the state's controlled intake, the Class Ds, Class Cs, the ASs, the DEs that comes, we've been averaging around 209,000, and Jason billed for December $254,300 just for the state check for DOC. So they have really trying to bring the numbers up, and the more they bring their numbers up, as long as the expenses don't go up too much, I can decrease what we had budgeted to, give to the jail to help fund it for the year.
And let me say this, too.
And a lot of the expenses are down too compared to last year. I printed off, Brian, the whole last year expenses and this year through December for him to look at. And he's got room inside of there to keep, we hope, everything going pretty good without something. The electric and the gas and things like that, he can't control. Those are probably going to need some money. And he's trying to get his payroll down.
I was going to talk about that, John, real quick, if you don't care. Several months ago, the other administration come in here, and I was sitting up there, and I was telling them, you got the number of workers you need over there, just start working them. I know you all remember that. I want to say that, right now, since I've been over there, last 2 weeks, we've had 0 overtime, 0. And months past, years past, they was averaging 385 hours of overtime per 2 weeks. I mean, that's overtime hours. I had 0 last week. I went through the holidays with, I think the Christmas week, I had 16 because I had to send one to the hospital. I mean, I'll work that over there as a business. I'll work that over there to bring in as much income as I possibly can to the county. Yeah, I just need help with things that is out of my control.
Brian, I wasn't questioning you.
I know.
Your work ethics or anything. I was just wondering how much you're going to be able to pay back if we loan that money out or buy that machine per month.
I feel very confident, Hillman, that I can pay back $7,500 a month.
75?
If I could do more than that, my goal would be to give back the 185,000 as quick as I can to the county. But I can, 7,500 a month, I can guarantee, and if I can get, anywhere between 10, and that's something else I'm working on. I'm trying to reduce the commissary cost. I don't think it's right that an inmate over has got to pay $3 or $2.75 for a pop that they can get at Velocity for $1.25. So, I'm trying to reduce some of the cost that the inmates' families has got the burden on their loved ones being able to purchase things. But I feel very confident that I can, $7,500 a month. If it comes to the point to where, the fiscal court, it gets strapped, I can go to CAECO at any time and finance this, can't I, Jonda?
Yes.
So, if we can start this way out and everything's smooth and I can get it paid back, it'd save the jail and the county ultimately a lot of interest charges.
John, do we have the money that we can go ahead and do this?
Well, like I said, this check's not budgeted, plus we've almost got the amount of money that we had budgeted for our oil and gas being up this year. Next year it may not, we don't know, but this year it's up. And we're staying on target with what's budgeted for coal so far for the 2 quarters. So if nothing bombs out in the 3rd quarter, we're going to be good and probably have the excess money also in the coal, in the mineral severance at that point too. And Pam's up in her occupational and net profits tax.
Well,
Or
before we do this, do we need to go ahead and accept the bid first?
I can present it, and then,
Then we can, if it's if that's what the court wants to do.
then you come back and give them approval to purchase.
Right.
You only have that one bidder.
You want to go ahead and do that now? Is that the pleasure of the court? Is that everybody? I'm okay with it. I think it's a. Is that the bid?
Brian, while everybody's here, let me try to explain something here to everyone that I know and you know, but probably know. When a person pleads guilty
One bid.
or is found guilty to a misdemeanor, and they're sent over to the Pike County Jail, who pays for their incarceration?
100% the county.
100%. So if a guy
100%.
and what's the per diem that you're paying on a misdemeanor charge now?
I'll have to get back with you on that, Herbie.
Isn't it over $30?
I'll get that back to you. I'm not 100%.
Well, the thing is that every time you go to spend 30 days in jail for a misdemeanor, actually a DUI and everything,
Yeah.
all it is costing the people. It's a direct payment from the county.
Correct.
Now, if you can get federal prisoners, you get more per diem, and the county doesn't have to pay anything.
Absolutely.
Right.
Like, I'll give you the numbers, since you brought it up. There's 360 inmates in the facility right now. 22 of them's U.S. Marshals.
This right here.
222 is state inmates.
Now, okay, state inmates,
Yeah,
but it has to be a convicted state
All of
inmate.
them's convicted state inmates.
Right, and if he doesn't have a conviction, the county is still paying for it.
County's still paying for them.
So if you keep a fellow over there 90 days, and he's not being convicted, even if he's charged with a felony, it's costing the county every day that per diem, straight out of the county.
Straight out of the county,
Until he's
absolutely.
convicted.
That's right. I commend you for working on
Yes.
that, because I've been working on it for 20-some years and never could get the judges to realize that sometimes when they put a fellow in jail and keep him there for 30, 60 days, all it is cheating the taxpayers out of a lot, and we're strapped with money now, and it should be looking like you have, and I commend you for that.
Well,
Now, what about the pre-release, the program you've got for them being released and going back home?
The home confinement, yeah, it's
Home
there.
incarceration.
It's not as big as what it should be, but I think we got 6 right now on home incarceration.
But that pays for itself.
That
though.
pays for itself,
Okay,
yes.
so that's
Yes.
another saving. I
That's
commend
another
you for
saving,
looking at
yeah.
that.
I'm talking on starting everybody knows about the state work release program, Burroughs Crew that goes out and cuts. Here this spring, I'm going to start I've talked to some of the district judges, but I'm going to try to start a misdemeanor work release crew. State inmates can only work on county non-profitable properties, but county inmates can work wherever. So if we get a county inmate in that gets 60 days, I want to try to start up a county misdemeanor work release crew to where every day worked is a day served, so that 60 would.
And knocks off the time, yeah.
Cut down
And
30 days.
That's a good program.
And I'll put them out here in the winter shoveling snow. I mean, it's work on them. Let's not let them go over there and sit and.
I agree with you. I think it'd be commended. That, I've been harping on that ever since, I was in the legislature and seeing where the money was going.
Yeah, you're right.
And you put them in for a felony, and they think that the state's going to pay for it, and they don't pay for it until that fella is convicted or enters a plea of guilty.
There you go. You're right.
I just thought I would bring that up because a lot of people don't understand it.
Thank you, Herbie.
Judge, if I could, I've got awarding of bids I could do now. Bid number 37 for 2017 is one full body scanner system for the jail. We received one bid from Romaine Company of Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Total bid price is $185,000 even. No exceptions to the bid specs. A 24-month warranty on the machine and an extended warranty as an option. It's recommended to award this bid to the lowest evaluated bidder, which would be Romaine Companies, having the lowest evaluated bid price of $185,000.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Compton?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy?
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Varney?
Yes.
Judge Teske?
Yes.
Brian, I want to make one comment there. I want to thank you for doing the job that you're doing over there. But knowing you and when you went over there, I didn't expect anything any less.
Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate that. Thank you, Leo.
Do we need to go ahead and authorize? Okay. I'll make a motion that are we just going to go ahead and us pay for it, and then he can just reimburse us back? How does that need to be worded, Herbie, any particular way?
Well,
Keith?
it's just authorize the unbudgeted amount sent here to pay for that machine, and then make a contract with the jailer that he'll pay back at least so much each month until that's paid, interest-free.
Okay, that's my motion.
I
Second.
need a second.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Compton?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy?
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Varney?
Yes.
Judge Teske?
Yes.
Guys, I want to thank you all very much. You need anything from over there, please call at any time.
Sure.
I'm here to help you. Thank you.
Let's see here. Yep.
I bet.
All right,
Good job, Brian.
on this one here, Jim. Hey, buddy, you're doing a good job. Hey, buddy.
Thanks for keeping my misdemeanor.
All right. Approval to transfer $7,265 to an escrow account for the Pike County's portion of the Corps of Engineers Section 202 project.
Motion.
Need a second?
Judge,
Yeah.
what's this? Is this pertaining to fish trap or?
It's
Under-
flood proofing it.
Phelps area.
Phelps
We had a
area.
meeting on it.
Yeah.
in the state. This is our, yeah, this is our share. The state sent us a check, I think it's 138,000, and the Corps is gonna fund the rest of it. But they have to have all this deposited and show proof before they'll move forward.
Did y'all pretty much see a list of things that's gonna be flood-proofed, or in the meeting you had, or was it brief?
Share a list with us.
They talked about
Yeah.
it at a court meeting, like 2 court meetings ago, about the tributaries coming into the flyover, and I think the core area.
It's in your area. I think they already have them.
I know they talked like they were gonna redo the fire department and the library.
That was the discussion they talked about. But now, I don't know exactly what building we'll start with or anything like that.
And if you'll remember him when we had the Buskirk McCarr flood-proofing project back when you first
Yeah.
started under Judge
They ran out of
Cameron.
money, and now
We still
they,
have money in there, and the states and our money will all go towards that. There's still money left from that
for
project. too.
Blackberry. Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Compton.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney.
Yes.
Judge Discus.
Yes. All right, discussion of the bridge located at Blackberry Station Highway 1056 and Big Blue Springs, CR Road 8732. Magistrate Odson, you?
Judge, I believe in the last meeting, I made a motion to table it. Do I need to make a motion to bring it back on the Keith?
Yeah, you voted on the prevailing side, didn't you?
Pardon?
You voted on the prevailing side. I mean, I'm just going by rules of order. You have to move that the,
Bring it back?
be reconsidered and that it be brought back up off the table.
I'll make
Two
that
people that
motion.
voted for it have to vote that way, and then take a vote to move it off the table, and then a vote to pass it.
Okay. I'll make a motion to bring it out of the table mode until active mode, I guess, what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
And then we'll discuss it.
Okay.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Compton.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney.
Yes.
Judge Discus.
Yes.
Now you need a motion to let it out for bid.
Well, Jimmy's not here today, and
Hey, Hillman, before you take any motions on that, we've placed that out for bid. The packets were mailed out yesterday. The advertisement will show up in tomorrow's newspaper, and we also mailed packets to 8, I wouldn't call them local, but the closest contractors that are pre-qualified on the transportation's cabinets list. But we had emailed like a complete PDF package of the bid to 25. And so far, I've heard back from 2 of them that said that they will bid on that bridge. The bid opening is going to be on February 1st, and then we'll present that bid at the February 6th court meeting.
Well, then you need a motion then to approve the actions taken by this action taken. You'll have to vote on it that way.
I make a motion that we approve letting the bid out, and the state has already presented all their paperwork.
I was going to need to discuss this a little bit. Jenny was talking to me last week. I'd assumed they'd done that. I called last week, and they was in some kind of training class, and the gal there sent the commissioner an email to get back with me, and he did call me back Thursday, and he was kind of lost on the paperwork thought there, which, you know, other people handles a lot of paperwork for people. But his secretary calls me back, and he said he would. She calls me back Friday and tells me that the paperwork had been sent back that I told her, you know, I'd give them to her to the meeting when Chick died. That's one of the reasons I went down there to present that $200, I think, by $86,000 request. And anyway, she said it was different agencies, and they were working on getting an approval, and it's just a formality of getting it done, but it ain't quite finished yet. And I called back this morning and said anything more. She said about the same thing. It was in the procedures and should be done, but certain people had it in their
Jack,
formality of state government.
I talked to people at District 12, and they gave me all this paperwork, and they said it's ready to go. So, you know, I don't think we need to put it off any longer. We go ahead, you've done let the bid out, and, you know, we can always reject it if it don't come in the way we want it.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do.
Well, we gotta get the bridge bid before we can get the money. Frankie, thank you. You know,
So we got a motion, and
yeah.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson,
Yes.
Magistrate Compton,
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy,
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney,
Yes.
Judge Deskins.
Yes. Declaration and disposal of surplus property at the former office of Magistrate District 2. I need some comments from Magistrate Compton, Frankie Stacy, and Paul Williamson.
Judge, the office hasn't been used in some time, and it's sitting up there basically abandoned. It's an old mobile home. And Paul and I have got some bids from 3 different people, actually, to dispose of it. We checked on moving it, and going to move it to the Ford Mountain lot over there. And actually to move it to Robinson Creek at the road lot, they wanted $1,300 just to move it. And honestly, the house is probably not worth $1,300, so we got some bids just to eliminate it right where it sits.
What is your highest bid?
Highest bid is $3,000.
Hey, Judge, Section 504 of the Administrative Code says that, you know, without going through a public auction or anything like that, that for us to dispose of county property, that the court has to declare it a surplus piece of property. And it's that 3rd page on the back of those
Bids.
2 quotes that I gave you. That tells what the court has to do to declare it surplus, and that we are able to dispose of it.
So then, you would need a motion to
Declare it surplus.
declare it surplus, and that's accepted. And then you would need a bid, a motion then to accept the $3,000 bid that we have. It'd take 2 motions.
Well, I'll make the motion to accept to make it surplus, yes.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you.
Well, we'll have a roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson,
Yes.
Magistrate Compton,
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy,
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney,
Yes.
Judge Deskins.
Yes. Thank you.
And need a
If I read that correct, Frankie, you're supposed to take what the average.
Average of the 2 bids, we can't give 3,000, we can give 950.
Yeah.
Because you have one bid for 2,900, you have one bid for
3,000.
And the way this reads is the average of the 2.
It's $2,950.
who would that be?
Justin Johnson and the head of Long Fork.
They own the property. You can sell, you can sell it to either one, but that's the price that
It's $2,950.
you can only get the average of the 2 price.
Well, the high one would be, high one is
3,000.
higher than the low one.
You can't give 3,000, you can give 2,900.
That's, but the high one is higher than the lowest, so it'd be the
That's just to come up
best
with
bid.
the price, but I'm saying you can sell it to anybody for that price.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just to come up with the price that the court can sell it for. Is the average of the 2.
Well, the only one that's
We
made
could
a
sell
firm
it
offer
today
is
to
Justin
one
Johnson.
that's
so-
got the highest, that came in for $2,950.
Well, the one that bid 3,000,
That's right, that's why I said, yeah.
Or you can sell it to anybody for $29.50 once the court declares it surplus property.
Have we determined it's surplus?
Yeah, we determined that's the motion.
I make a motion to sell it to Justin Johnson for $29.50.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Compton?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy? Yes. Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Varney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. All right. Authorization for U.S. postage for up to $8,000 for mailing the 2018 Pike County solid waste bills.
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Compton?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy?
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Varney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. Authorization to place the Pike County solid waste delinquent amounts on the 2018 tax tickets.
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Compton?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy? Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Varney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. Approval to cancel the January 16, 2018 fiscal court meeting and schedule a special called fiscal court meeting on January the 23rd, 2018.
Motion.
What's the reasons, the holiday? I mean,
We don't have most of the bills in for the Kentucky Power and the water bills, and with Monday being a holiday, we won't get them to sometime next week anyway, so just post it for another week.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
The morning meeting or afternoon meeting? Morning meeting?
Morning.
we might get back on
The
track.
morning at 10 o'clock, yes.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Compton?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy?
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Varney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. All right, awarding of bids, Frankie? We already took care of it. You've done them all? All right. Matrix comments. Anderson?
We're gonna do the road work?
Road work.
Where?
That's on the back page there, Judge.
Matrix Road Work.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Compton?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy? Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Varney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. Now, Matrix comments. Anderson,
I don't have any comments, Judge.
you have any?
No, that
Leo?
doesn't have mine. Thank you.
Not at this time, Judge.
Hillman?
Yeah, Judge, I got a few. Frankie, our salt situation, are we going through the same company? They get the bids in Portsmouth. I know the state changed theirs.
I don't know if it's the same trucking company or not. That's usually, they've got the salt stockpiled at Portsmouth, but it's Morton, Cargill, they all sell out of that same stockpile. So it's the trucking company that we deal with, and I'm not sure if it's the same trucking company or
I'll
not.
be back in the office for
We
executive session. I think he's got a couple more things.
Okay, yeah.
got the same company though.
Right,
The salt is in Portsmouth.
yes.
I know the state, I think, didn't they switch to Lexington this year for some reason?
Treasurer after the
I don't know,
executive session.
they do theirs
Well, you
kinda
wanna
like
do
we
that
do.
after
They'll switch
session?
companies
Yeah.
if they get a lower bidder on the price.
What price do we have if we pick it up?
Can we pick it up?
I think we talked about this before, and there's something to do with our trucks aren't licensed to go into Ohio. They can't go down there and pick it up, and we haven't bid a pickup price since then. We've only got a delivered price.
I know I've seen a lot of trucks this morning going toward Belfry, I guess, salt
delivered.
trucks, and they were out of Lexington. And I guess they're maybe going toward Phelps or the state or over Sydney. But,
That could be for the transportation cabinet.
yeah. But, I just wonder if we could save money by going to pick it up ourselves, maybe send some trucks down there.
The last times that we had bid it before, I think there was like $10 a ton difference. And it may have, we were bidding it both ways, delivered and picked up, but I think they said there was some kind of problem of our trucks licensed in Kentucky going into Ohio and picking up the product or something.
Well, I don't see where that would be an issue. I know I've been by the salt pile down there, if it's the same one on the river. And it looks pretty rough looking. They got covered with plastic. And, you know, if we could pick it up for $10 a ton, it would probably save us a little money, wouldn't it?
We can't do it this year because we don't have a pickup price bid out, locked in. Now, we're getting ready to bid it again in March for this coming year.
But you don't know,
We could start to do a pickup price again.
you don't know.
Make sure we can go get it. I mean,
But that's the problem. I was thinking that there was some kind of problem. Do you know anything, Jackie Darrell, about our
I
trucks
think it
going
was
in?
traveling through Ohio.
I can't see why that would be a problem, if somebody may have told you, more than me, but I can't, you got CDL
The
licensed
last time
drivers.
that they were talking about sending the trucks down because the trucking company was, because we had a delivered and a pickup price. And the trucking companies were backlogged getting the orders out, so we were gonna go get it, and there was some kind of problem with them going into Ohio.
I think the Ohio trucks brings it to us.
They do. But I don't think they'll recognize us going in theirs. That's what I'm pretty sure that's what was told.
That was the way I remember it, and that's why we never did go get it.
No, we never have done it, but I just wondered if we could save money by doing it. And you don't know who the trucking company is going to be trucking it this year?
Odds are it's probably that Conley Trucking that's been doing it, because they're the biggest fleet that's right there, but they truck for all those brokers of salt. You know, if it's Morton or Cargill or either one, it's probably still the same trucking company. And
Have anybody ordered any this year?
yeah,
How long,
I don't know
delivery?
about delivery. I've seen a couple of bills.
We got some.
Did it take you very long?
No,
I don't know what the turnaround time on.
there's about 5 days on there.
I know we've got enough to take us through probably one more snow, but I wanted to get rid of that old stuff because it's 2 years old before we order some new. And I just don't want to get stuck without not being able to get it.
I think I talked to JB. He called and asked me the same thing, and I told him it was about 5 to 7 days from the time you place your order till the time you get it. Normally,
I think it's 5 days.
unless you wait for a big snow to hit, and then they get backlogged with orders, and then it might take a little bit longer than that.
Yeah.
But usually they put state and county governments at the top of the list and cities before they'll start. And then if we do have a problem that you ran out, we normally can work out that deal with the transportation cabinet and sign that contract that we can go down there and pick some up real quick. X number of tons.
Still got that?
I don't know if it's locked in for this year or not, but I mean, if we need it, I'm sure they could work it out for us.
I believe we better be making sure because we're supposed to get a good one tonight or tomorrow one, ain't we? Yeah.
Actually, on the weekend, Tim stay home.
But normally about 5 to 7 days from the time you place your order, you should have your salt.
Whose job is it to check with the state, you or Jackie?
Usually it's the road commissioner that does that contract with the transportation cabinet.
You know what he's talking about,
Called them in
Jack?
the past, and last year they called because they thought we'd missed out on billing us, but we didn't get none off of them last
We never
year.
even used it last
We
year.
didn't use none last year.
But we need to make sure this year if we
I'll
run
take
out.
care of that. I think it's already in action, but I'll check it out.
All right, thank you. And I want to talk a little bit about our health department. I see Herbie just left. Our lease, I think, we met with him. And Herbie was going to draft up a lease to send over to them or take it to them. The doctor is in Spain right now, and there's a problem with him letting the girl that's working there to sign it. So I guess we need to find out if we can send it to him and let him sign it or whatever. He's on a medical leave and he's kind of retired, and don't know if he's even gonna come back or not. But Celebrity's been appointed to be the one filling in for him, and we've got need to try to find out on that. And the horses are back over at Phelps, tearing people's yards up, and just wondering if we're gonna be able to. Terry Rogers has been working.
We are working on that now. Terry, a Wolford lady called me last, I believe it was Friday on Monday, and Terry's over there got cages set up trying to catch them. So we're on the deal on that, trying to get that. A little problem every year, but we're working on it. Terry discussed it with him a couple of times. So he's got the cages set up trying to catch them.
And Judge, you know, with the loss of Buddy Dotson over at the Hatfield Park,
Yeah.
his wife has asked to step up and her and her son and keep doing that and duties over there. And I just wondered if we need to approve that here in court or how we need to do it. Do what? She done it, so do we need to approve it?
Hillman, I'll second that motion.
Justin, you want to say something on that?
Oh, you have to?
You have to do the recommendation, he can second it.
Yeah.
You have to do
Hey,
all personnel
I'll
action.
make that recommendation.
Also, okay. I think Justin has already talked to her about it.
Yes, I have, and it was to be discussed as well on the personnel sheet.
Yeah, executive session.
Okay. How's her light duty coming, Justin?
It's actually going real well. I had met with the solid waste crew, I think the 2nd of January is when we met, and then I just talked to the road foremans yesterday and explained what we're trying to do and why we're trying to do it, and it's going really well. We actually already brought somebody back to work on light duty. So she's basically doing her full-time job with minimum restrictions, and that's somebody that we got back that we wouldn't have been able to get back. So it's making an impact already. Give me about 2 months to really get it going in action, and I'll be more than happy to give you an update.
And I'd like to say that we appreciate Paul and his people putting they're in the process of installing the used oil furnace over at the maintenance garage there at Phelps, and that's gonna cut back on a lot of our electrical bill, and Paul, I guess you might want to say something about that.
We should have it up and running by next week right there, you know. I might take off today.
It's a unit that was not being used, and we didn't have to buy it.
We can make it work.
So we're not out any money on it, and Paul's trying to put it in to where we can use it and cut back on our electric. Thank you, Paul. Judge, that's all I have.
All right, Bobby?
I have no comments at this time.
Yes, you do. We need to go into executive session to discuss the personnel and possible litigation. Bobby Varney, will you please read the KRS?
Yes, sir. Your Honor, KRS 61.810, paragraph C, discuss proposed or pending litigation, and paragraph F, specific personnel. I put that in the form of a motion.
Roll call.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson? Magistrate Compton?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy? Yes. Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Varney?
Yes.
Judge Tedeschi?
Yes. We will be in recession for a few minutes. The meeting will resume.
I'm trying to find a way to
All right.
occupational tax over there on his business.
Next on in the treasurer's business.
Authorize any necessary transfers and interfund transfers to pay the bills, payroll, health, and life insurance.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Compton,
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Yes. Magistrate Dodson,
Yes.
Magistrate Varney,
Yes.
Judge Deskin.
Yes.
Acknowledge receipt of the sheriff's and the clerk's 2550 reports for December 2017.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Compton,
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Yes. Magistrate Dodson,
Yes.
Magistrate Varney,
Yes.
Judge Deskin.
Yes.
Authorize registration and lodging for those who wish to attend the KCJEA 36th Annual Winter Conference, February 7th through the 9th, that's a typo, 2018, at the Griffin Gate Marriott Resort and Spa, Lexington, Kentucky.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Compton,
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Magistrate Dodson,
Yes.
Magistrate Varney,
Yes.
Judge Deskin.
Yes.
John, when will they be going down?
On the
Because
6th, they'll go on the 6th.
so our court meeting is on Tuesday, the 6th evening.
Might
That's our
want
next
to
court
bring it
meeting.
earlier.
Be another scheduled one.
So what do you want to, we'll need to talk about that.
Just make it at 10 o'clock at morning instead?
Yeah, right.
Be a special call meeting?
Yes.
That's February
I
the
make a
6th.
motion then that our February the 6th meeting, which is scheduled to be in the evening at 5, that we change that to 10 a.m. so we can attend this training.
Second.
It's not really on the agenda, but we
Roll
never
call, please.
Magistrate Compton,
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Yes. Magistrate Dodson,
Yes.
Magistrate Varney,
Yes.
Judge Deskin.
Yes.
Authorize registration and lodging for those who wish to attend the KMCA Legislative Training Day and Legislative Reception, February the 15th, 2018, at the CAECO Building and Kentucky State Capitol, Frankfort, Kentucky. And the legislative reception will be at the Thomas D. Clark Center for Kentucky History in Frankfort, Kentucky. They'll go down on the 14th and come back on the 16th.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Compton,
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Yes. Magistrate Dodson,
Yes.
Magistrate Varney,
Yes.
Judge Deskin.
Yes.
Authorize a check for $125 to the Kentucky State Treasurer for the landfill manager training exam in Frankfort, Kentucky for Larry A. Hensley, March 7th through the 9th, 2018.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Compton,
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Yes. Magistrate Dodson,
Yes.
Magistrate Varney,
Yes.
Judge Deskin.
Yes.
I have no further business, Judge.
All right. Commissioners report, Jackie.
Got a couple of things there. One is I called the State Department as you was up back in the meeting, executive meeting there. We have agreement. I thought I'd done it, but I didn't want to say for sure. But we have an agreement that we can get 200 ton of salt off the state if we need it from the Shelby lot. So that was taken care of. Number 2 there, Jeannie got during the break there too, where I'd called, probably seemed like got them on the ball on that, and they've signed that agreement of giving us that coverage of that bridge. But I got to go down to state headquarters down here and meet the chief engineer and get her to sign a paper on it as I was talking to our fellow worker here about the deal. But and number 3, Keith is not here. I'd like to get something done on that. Those graveyards is under that thing, but he's not here. I'll have to check him later out. Thank you. And we got some bad weather coming up, and want all the folks who listen, you got to get out and travel. It'd be used good wisdom Saturday morning not to get out and go unless you necessarily have to, but we will probably have the county road crews out taking care of the deal, plowing the snow off, but it's going to be below below 25, so if you use salt, 25 and below, it don't do you no good, you're wasting it, you're just plowing it off, but we'll be out there clearing the snow off and salting, but the temperature may change on us and do it. But everybody be careful. Thank you.
Well, he's already drawn his.
You have any remarks? All right.
Just a little bit on the weather. We're looking at maybe 2 inches of snow overnight. The low overnight will be 21, the high tomorrow will be 23. So could be a little slick.
What was the high today, Doug, you know?
The high today is going to be about 55, and that's going to go down pretty quick.
And then 23 tomorrow.
Yeah, 21 overnight, 23 tomorrow, and we should see transition from rain to snow between 7 and 10 this evening.
Wow.
What? Well, there's a chance of some sleet. It depends on how quick the temperature drops, but they're not looking for really any ice accumulations, just a couple inches of snow.
No, they
You have anything?
forecasted that. I mean,
Paul? Bobby, or what?
nice yesterday.
Just a couple things, Judge. We're continuing to work on the South Lake Course Trails project with the Army Corps of Engineers. We've got a draft to the Corps of Engineers that Herbie's going to review and try to get that up to them here in a couple of days. That'll help us use that for the non-motorized activities. We're working on the lease agreement for Hillman's second ramp.
Turn your mic on.
It's on.
Okay.
We're working on a lease agreement for the second ramp that we've got permitted over in at Peter Creek. So we're making progress on the Rivers Trails as well. And then on the motorized front, talked to Neil Cornett yesterday, Hillman. He was actually supposed to meet with Representative Fugit today to see where they were going to be on their funding. And I think that's kind of been the holdup at the DOG side, is they want some funding before they convene this 21 county committee. He said he'd call me and give me an update on that, let me know how that went. But I think they're looking forward to the funding, so then they can actually convene that and the motorized thing can start taking more shape. So that's where we are on the motorized.
You have anything? You have anything? Yeah, you got this road work, or
Personnel.
On personnel, I need the following items. Approval to hire John Thompson Jr. as a Packer driver at the Belcher lot at a 3H rate of pay. Approval to terminate Lawrence Jr. Approval for Troy Bryant to use his current donated sick time from 1/16/18 through February 23rd, 18. In addition, approval to terminate Troy Bryant effective February 23rd, 2018. Approval to hire Linda Dotson as caretaker at Hatfield McCoy Park effective 12/10/17 at $400 per month. Approval to lay off Donna Mullins effective 1/5/18. Approval to hire Grant Coleman as a temporary truck driver at the Phelps Road lot at a 3H rate of pay effective 1/9/18. And approval to accept Jesse Coleman's resignation.
all right, I need a motion.
That's your recommendation.
Is that your recommendation, Judge?
Yeah, that's my recommendation.
Second.
And I had a second, so roll call, please.
Magistrate Compton?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy? Yes. Magistrate Dotson?
Yes.
Magistrate Varney?
Yes.
Judge Deska?
Yes, thank you. All right, I guess public comment. Mike, you got anything?
Yes, for a little bit. I won't keep you long, but I'd like to say a few things. I was telling Magistrate Anderson there a while ago, I'd asked him if he ever seen the movie Groundhog Day. Seems like coming over here a lot of times we're in a time loop. Same old, bridges and so on.
Mike, I hope we'll get that bridge built.
I hope you do too. I really do. I think that it needs to be built. I've got a little thing here Eli Witzel, I'm going to quote him on a thing, maybe do a little explaining of why I keep showing up over here. He was a Holocaust survivor, but he had said there may be many times when we are powerless to prevent injustice, but there must never be a time when we fail to protest. So I wanted to read that. And then I'm going to go with summary of just some of the statutes on roads from a definition of a road. And I'm going to just put here to what, I'm not going to read the whole statute, but county roads are public roads which are formally accepted by the fiscal court of the county as part of the road system, and it goes on to, it includes ditches. That's going to be my point there on that. I mean, it says more than that, but I'm not going to read all that, the other things that it does come under. And there's another one at 179.380. Number 2, no owner or tenant shall fill up any ditch or place anything in any ditch so as to interfere with the purposes for which that ditch was made. And then when we go to 179.270, that they say engineer, but in our case we have a road commissioner. And it pretty well, it pretty well says it's his responsibility to see that anything that is put in a ditch that's taken care of and took out of, put back accordingly. Now, the last meeting that I was here, I was under the weather with like a lot of people with flu-like symptoms. And whenever I was discussing some of the stuff, anyway, and I'm just going to hit on a few points here today. As far as getting something done, hey, I guess the best hopes is that I can get it out to the people of what's not being done. And if there's neglect, if there's any mud, ice, or anything that causes an accident, then people ought to know that, hey, it should have been taken care of. Because it has seemed, I had even asked the road commissioner about why it took so long to open up the ditch that we was talking about. And he had went on with equipment being broke down, being here, have to move there. But February the 3rd, 2017, District 6 road crew was up this holler, Runyon's Branch. I contacted Jackie Darrell, asked him if he was going to do that. He said he'd talk to the road foreman. Then I went to see Magistrate Varney, and he had told me that Jackie Darrell, I'm just repeating that between them, said that Jackie Darrell said do not touch the May property. So, I wanted to clear that up to where he was rattling off why it hadn't been done in all this time. And then, as we know, the ditch has been filled back up, but still with nothing being done with it. I will say that, where does it come to that people will get down and take care of what should be done in this county? And I had touched on, when I commented on when the guy here from Intermountain Cable and Herbie, yes, even the people that had called you, they was commending you that you did try, and they told me that the guy was going to be here today. And really some of them from Blackberry said they'd be here, but maybe they was afraid of the weather. We have things that we can't do. And well, another thing. Jackie Darrell also said that I complained about them doing the ditch at my property. No, I didn't complain about them ditching it. I complained because they did it, and it's been over 3 months with no outlet. Now, it just does not make no sense at all that you would dig that ditch to satisfy somebody and not, yeah, you can do this, you can do that.
That was October the 3rd. Still, everything just goes, nothing done. And, well, one thing I want to get a point on is, you know, whenever you come here and you start either phone calls or texting to take care of things the day of the meeting, I don't feel there's no way to handle things or to get things done. I think you ought to be on top of it. And with that being said, hopefully, Judge, that, you know, I would like to have a meeting with y'all, you know, Jackie Darrell, Magistrate Varney, and stuff that we can sit and talk about a few things that when it's convenient for you to do so.
Well, if you all can work it out, just Jackie and, okay,
Okay. Thanks for your time.
okay. All right. Well, I think that finishes everything up. I need a motion to resign.
No, do you have
Hey.
something, Robbie?
Oh,
Judge, before we dismiss, I would like to remind everybody to remember Jimmy Dale Sanders. I think he had a knee replacement, and it's going to be out for a while and stuff. Let's remember him in prayer and stuff. How's he doing, Bob? I haven't heard. How's he doing? Okay.
I talked to him Saturday, and he was in a lot of pain, but he just had a partial knee replacement.
Okay.
So he's hoping to be back next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
He had partial knee replacement.
Robbie, did you have something else that you needed to bring forward? the court?
No, it's already taken care of. John done took care of it.
Okay.
There's a whole lot of Jackie Darrells in that last comment up there, but one thing I want to correct, I've never told nobody not no dig, no ditch, nowhere. I don't know where he got that from, but Jackie Darrell never come out of his mouth because we need more ditches in this county, not less. And we did go up there and dig that ditch, and we did have breakdowns, and there's a lot of things to do throughout the county, and you just can't run to one particular area unless it's some immediate danger, then you would do it. But Danny told me that his excavators broke down, and I finally went over personally with his road crew when he was going to a class and got the ditch dug and done. Well, my ex-friend of mine, Tommy Mayer, he told me, he promised me that he would, the dirt, he wanted that dirt there, and I usually try to save gas and time, give the dirt to somebody close by if they want it. But I was reluctant to give it to him because his wife was carrying on quite a bit, and I said, she'll fill that ditch back in. And he promised me he wouldn't do that. But he went against his word and he filled the ditch back up, and we've discussed it in court before. What I went over today, and the ditch has been filled back up, and he's supposed to make efforts to clear it back up, get a contractor to do it, because it ain't right for the taxpayers to do it twice, and he should have never filled it in. And he shouldn't have used our drain to run his private gas line through and stop it up and then fill it up afterwards. So I'm disappointed with my friend, Mr. May there, but anyway, that ditch is covered. It needs to be uncovered. I don't know if Keith was going to send him a letter, but they give a commitment they was going to get that done, and texting or talking by phone or whichever, it's a communication. If it works, it works. But I was informed that they would get the dirt out of that ditch and hire a contractor. Now, they've had enough time to do that. It's been some good weather and has it done that. So I think we ought to send him a letter, and if he don't get it done by a contractor and get an efficient ditch dug back, and if not, we would do it and send him a bill for our time and labor. Thank you.
all right. Herbie, have you seen this thing here?
No, we don't have to do that with that. She just gave it to us for
No, that's just for
next time.
next.
Do I have to sign it?
No, no.
Nothing's to be done yet.
Okay.
Okay,
I think we're ready to go.
Okay.
Judge.
all right. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Compton,
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Magistrate Dodson,
Yes.
Magistrate Varney,
Yes.
Judge Daskins.
Yes.